hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the manga. And if you're an anime only fan, this is the time of month where I am going to be talking about spoilers. I'm just going to tell you right now, next month in August is going to be a really good month for anime only fans. There's a lot of really good content coming onto the channel, so I thank you for your support. But if you're not reading the manga right now, I highly recommend reading the manga. But if you're still here, then I'm assuming you're okay with spoilers. So I wanted to talk to you guys about why everything that's getting ready to happen to Konoha is on Naruto Uzumaki. That's right, all the blame for everything that's getting ready to happen falls at the feet of Hokage Naruto. And I know that, like, when you criticize Naruto, a lot of people they get in their feelings, because a lot of people are like, oh my god, Naruto was an orphan and he worked his way all the way up to being the Hokage of the village. I'm not taking none of that away from Naruto's character. That's very inspirational, right? I mean, if Naruto can make his impossible dream come true, then I'm inspired by that too, yo. Like, straight up, I'm so inspired by that. Like, I feel like if a guy who finished at the very bottom of the academy and all that other stuff, right, if he could work his way up to being the Hokage and recognized by everybody, then surely one day I get to shoot my shot with Violet Bean or Charlie Caruso, because those two women just absolutely gorgeous. Oh my lord, I think I need some water right now because I'm starting to get thirsty. Hold on, people. But let me get back on track for Thanoshiki show up, because he already done showed up at Wakanda. Oops, I mean, he already showed up at Konoha talking about he's trying to take the last Infinity Stone and take Kawaki back and everything, man. Y'all sleeping on Thanoshiki right now, people. Let's look at how we got to exactly where we are right now, okay? Isshiki Otsutsuki is currently floating above Konoha. He's currently floating above Konoha, and there's a very good possibility that he might kill some villagers. And it doesn't have to be something just as simple as Isshiki goes through and just starts shoving chakra rods into people. That's not the case. It could be something as simple as the dude's chakra that he gives off is just so overwhelming that, like, normal people can't actually deal with it. Like, we've seen it with characters like Kaguya, where, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the filler arcs, Kaguya was able to just look at people and they just fell onto the ground because of all the power that she was exuding. So I mean, the fact of the matter is that Konoha currently has a very powerful creature about to descend, and Konoha is not equipped in order to defend itself against this person. And this even goes deeper than this, because when you really think about it, for better or for worse, all this could have been avoided. Now, I'm not saying this in a negative light, but Naruto's big heart, this is what caused all this. Back on my first channel, Kryptonian Saiyan, I did a video and I talked about how Naruto, if he allows Kawaki to come into Konoha, Naruto was essentially signing Konoha's destruction over. And so 2 years later, we're getting this moment. I think that that's what they're building up towards. Like, by having Kawaki not only come to Konoha, but Naruto gets attached to him and Naruto wants to defend Kawaki. Now we're in a situation to where Naruto made one decision as Hokage. A decision, if you go back to 5 Kage when they were meeting, Naruto was told by all his other Kage counterparts that this kid, keeping him is not a good idea, but Naruto won them over, especially once he started talking about he's not gonna treat him like a Jinchuriki. And the fact of the matter is that's exactly what Kawaki was. While he's a child, Kawaki is still a weapon. Kawaki is a human being who had his body modified with scientific ninja weapon tech, and in just a small amount either. Delta referred to Kawaki as having enough scientific ninja weapon tech and money poured into them that they could have funded their own country. So Kawaki is a very expensive weapon. He's currently inside of Konoha, and Naruto's getting ready to try and defend it. If anything happens, this all falls on Naruto, and I want to take this a step further. We know that Naruto and Sasuke, they're more powerful than they were when they fought in the war arc, despite what a lot of people believe. These characters now are more powerful than they were in the war arc, and when it comes to Naruto, you have this huge thing where people say, oh, Naruto doesn't have the Sage of Six Past power. Naruto still has that Sage of Six Past mode, and then he's able to stack the QB chakra mode on top of his Sage of Six Paths mode. He just doesn't have the truth seeking orb. So we know from the Shikamaru Shinden novel that Naruto still has a small part, not the full part, but a small part of the Sage of Six Paths power. So Naruto can still tap into that power whenever he wants to, but the fact of the matter is this: even though these characters are more powerful, it's been 16 years and Naruto and Sasuke are in their 30s now. They're in their 30s now, and when you just really look at it and we look at all the information that we know, after a certain point, Sasuke continued to stay sharp. Naruto, on the other hand, Naruto did not. That's why the QB got onto him during the events of Naruto Gaiden when the Shin Uchiha clones were able to stab Naruto. Like, when you really look at this, if Naruto would have continued training throughout that whole 16 years between where we are now and the end of the Fourth Great Ninja War, Naruto, I very strongly believe Naruto would be strong enough to handle this threat that's in front of him now. Because look at it from this perspective: the little bit of stuff that he's done since he's gotten both halves of the QB chakra on top of having a small part of the Sage of Six Paths power, you could argue that while Sasuke is more dangerous than Naruto, Naruto's still that much stronger than Sasuke. So when you just really think about that, when you really think about it, if Naruto would have been training, balls to the wall training during that 16 years, Isshiki, I strongly believe he would not stand a chance. Not based off of what we just seen, because Sasuke, I get it. Sasuke has to ration off his chakra because he was fighting in another dimension, and all the jutsu that Sasuke's using, the teleportation, switching places with Naruto and switching Naruto in and out when they're attacking Jigen, those are jutsu that use up an enormous amount of Sasuke's chakra. Just teleporting to another dimension takes a lot of chakra to do so. And when you really look at the Sasuke and Naruto versus Isshiki, or better known as Jigen fight, when you look at that fight, look at how many times, and I think people miss this, look at how many times Sasuke used that jutsu to swap places in and out. That's a chakra draining Rinnegan jutsu, and yet Sasuke was damn near spamming that jutsu. And so when you look at it, on the other hand, Naruto did not use like 1,000 shadow clones, but what are 1,000 shadow clones against Jigen's body at that point when he's knocking them out of a Susanoo and he's basically body slamming the QB without any type of effort while he's doing so. But the fact of the matter is this: Naruto, even in that fight, Naruto still, you could argue, had another gear in him. Sasuke was at his limit. So imagine what could have happened if Naruto would have trained that entire time. I put Naruto's training during that 16-year time period being the same way of what would have happened if Gohan in Dragon Ball Z would have continued training after Cell was defeated and he just kept training all the way through, and then he got his potential unlocked on top of that. It's the same thing with Naruto. And so because Naruto did not do that for reasons, I get it, the guy's got a family, the guy is living his dream as Hokage, both of those are taking a lot of time. I totally understand it. And yet at the same time, he also doesn't have an excuse, because you can also have your shadow clones trained and your shadow clones are able to take their experience and bring them back to you. So it's one of those things where Naruto has an excuse, but he doesn't have an excuse. But the fact of the matter is Konoha right now is unprepared for the threat that's getting ready to come towards it. And it gets even more heartbreaking when you consider the fact that Naruto's done so much to establish this peace, and you could argue that this peace that we have now, it's arguably made Naruto soft. Even though Naruto's done preventive measures trying to keep Konoha safe, like when you get those moments where he's having Orochimaru work on Otsutsuki killing weapons and ways to defend the village, and he's taking all these countermeasures, it's also one of those things where he's done all that, and now that balloon payments come home and Naruto's not able to pay for it. So for those guys who don't know what a balloon payment is, that's where, you know, you buy a house and you say, well, I can't really afford it, but you know, I'll take out another small loan with the bank that I don't have to pay for like 15 years, and it'll be like 40,000-50,000 something dollars, but when that 15 years comes up, you got to pay that money or you lose your house. Well, Naruto put all this effort into working with Orochimaru to get all this stuff worked on, and the Otsutsuki is here, and they have no way to essentially defend themselves. They have no way to defend themselves outside of their own knowledge that they have from Amado and their own experiences. There's nothing that can defend their citizens. Now, there might be something revealed in the next chapter. I might be talking too soon, but just based off of what we've seen, I don't think that's the case, because Shikamaru and Naruto gave that order to Sai to evacuate the villages. Like, we're at that point now. Thanoshiki has come to Wakanda, and if you've seen Infinity War, you know exactly what's getting ready to happen. Kawaki is Vision. You're gonna have that moment where Naruto and Sasuke are gonna be trying to defend Kawaki the same way that Scarlet Witch was trying to defend Vision. It's not gonna end well. Somebody's gonna end up saying, Mr. Sasuke, I don't feel so good. Like, I don't know who it's gonna be. It might be Boruto. I doubt it. It might be Naruto. It might be Sasuke. Somebody's gonna say, I don't feel so good. And if that happens, it falls on Naruto's lap. Naruto's gonna be the Peter Quill of Boruto and Naruto Next Generations. Like, this is on him. Thanoshiki is going on the rampage, which I gotta say, I'm getting the merch worked on right now. Thanoshiki merch coming soon, baby. But I wanna know from you guys. I really wanna know from you guys. So, like, all jokes aside, I wanna know from you guys, how do you guys feel about this? Do you think that Naruto shares some blame if something like this happens to Konoha? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.